Hey everyone, Wags here from Eagle Dynamics, and in this DCS F-16C Viper video, we're going to be taking a look at some new Bullseye functions coming to our Viper. First of which is a new DED page for Bullseye. To get there, we'll go to List, 0 for Miscellaneous, and then 8 for Bullseye. We have two lines here. The top is Bullseye, and when it's not selected, we have the steering indications here on the HSD and the FCR, but when we select it by hitting the M-Select 0 key, we now have the ownship Bullseye information with the bearing and range below it, and the range in the center, and a little arrow pointing in the direction to the Bullseye. Below that, we have the steer point that the Bullseye is assigned to, and the Bullseye can be set to steer point 1 through 99, and by default it will be steer point 25, but if there's no steer point 25 in your mission, it will go to the Bullseye set in the mission editor. So for example, here I have steer point 1 directly ahead of me, so I can select the line, enter the steer point, in this case 1, then enter, and now we can see that steer point 1 is our Bullseye, which is also reflected down here as our ownship Bullseye. Next, we have Bullseye information located here in the bottom left corner of the cursor on the FCR, both air-to-air and air-to-ground. So as we move around the radar cursor, its Bullseye information is reflected in terms of bearing and range from Bullseye to the cursor. But let's say we go ahead and do an STT on a radar target, and now we have no cursor. Now the Bullseye is in reference to that bug target. If we come back over to the HSD, as we move the radar cursor around, we can also see it reflected here on the HSD with the Bullseye information here on the left side. But if we go ahead and set the HSD as our sensor of interest, or SOI, now we have the HSD cursor, which pops up by the ghost cursor, and we can use the cursor slew switch now to slew around our HSD cursor, and here on the right side we can see its bearing and range from Bullseye. And now that we have the HSD cursor, we'll soon be able to start implementing some new functions associated with that. So folks, I hope you enjoyed this little explanation of the upcoming Bullseye functions, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.